Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. Trudeau is out probably just for, I don't know, a month or a few weeks whenever they have their next election by a globalist puppet, from what I've seen. That's who replaced him, some liberal globalist WEF puppet. So I guess that's not too surprising, but he'll only be in for a few weeks for Canada. They deal with tariffs from the United States and also now China. The streak continues. Yes, it is. I'll probably go till like probably around 9:15. I want to start on this this 9/11 iceberg that I want to do this video. What's up, guys? This is something I've been seeing liberals do. I mean, this is honestly what these people believe. Imagine it, Moscow vaporized. This person wanting Moscow to be nuked and then giving a sum around the death toll of Moscow if it got nuked by an American atomic bomb. This is like, these people like this. I mean, but I mean, this is what it is, right? If you want the war to continue, if you want Russia to be defeated, this is kind of what you want. I mean, I said they want escalation. The liberals threatening Elon and Trump are unhinged. It is concerning to a degree. I mean, they have very good security. You know, they've got very good security, but they are really mentally unstable. And the problem is they think killing Trump and Musk is justifiable. And not only justifiable, it's necessary, and the person who does it will be a hero. That's when it starts to become an issue. But I mean, still, Trump's got amazing security and stuff as the president. Musk, obviously, the richest person. You see Musk, the liberals are trying to like dunk on Musk with his Tesla stock going down. That's actually ammunition for us, because it's like, well, Musk is being very polarizing to be part of this administration and to do the Doge thing. And so his Tesla stock is tanking because he's alienating people. That's a sacrifice that Musk is making to try and make the government better and more dependable and more accountable in terms of what they're spending money on. They're like, oh yeah, Musk is going to get so much more richer, and that now they're trying to brag that he's lost money. So which one is it? Libs just elected the World Economic Forum here for Prime Minister. He rigged his own leadership race by barring 2 other Lib members from voting. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, who really cares about Carney? He's going to be in office for what, 2 weeks for you guys? Jamesy, what's up, man? What happened to last night's stream? Yeah, so this is what happened to the stream last night. This is because of X, honestly. So I'm on X, obviously, during the stream. There was some not safe for work thing. I mean, it's X's fault. They're the ones that, but so I was going to go edit it out after the stream just to make sure nothing happened to my channel. So I went to edit it out, but I was multitasking and I accidentally edited out not the 2 minutes that I wanted edited out of the stream, but the entirety of the stream outside of the 2 minutes. So now all that's left is 2 minutes. So I'm like, obviously, this is what I wanted edited out. So I accidentally like deleted the entire thing, or I deleted like 95% of the stream last night, because I was trying to edit something out, because X, it just, I mean, it's just like the stuff they have on here. They really need to put and when I'm streaming, it's not good. Dems want to shut down the government. Well, they want to do anything to try and hinder Trump's economic success. That's basically it. So I think the economy will be good. I've been trying to bull post a little bit about the economy and how it's going to be turned around. I think Trump, it will be turned around. I mean, right now people are just worried about the tariffs. The market is reacting to the tariffs. The stock market is down. People are like, well, crypto's getting crushed. Well, yeah, the stock market is down right now, so it's going to have an effect on crypto. What stock hasn't gone down? Yeah, most of the stocks are on. That's why I'm still bullish on crypto. Crypto's getting crushed because the stocks are down. It is what it is. I mean, it's because of the tariffs. There's uneasiness. There's a unknowing in the market right now, so there's going to be a sell-off. Things will get better. Gas prices are down pretty significantly. Do you think the Greater Idaho movement will ever come to fruition? Probably I mean, probably not, but I'd say it's got the best chance out of any of those movements. Probably the Greater Idaho does. There's because it's you're dealing with less population, you're dealing with it being out west, you're dealing with them actually having the counties that agree to do it. You're dealing with the counties being located in an area to where it would make sense to redraw. Trump claims he's lost $2 to $5 billion. Well, he's definitely lost money. He's definitely lost money, that's for sure. How much he was worth, I don't know. He claimed he was worth like 6 or 7 billion, but they had his net worth at like 2.5 billion or maybe like 4 billion. I don't remember. But he definitely lost a lot of money being president. MSNBC laughing about the Starship, the explosion. Who cares? I mean, it's a test. They're fucking retards. Have I been working out? No, I haven't been working out. Yeah, I saw that photo of Caitlin Clark. People were like, "Whoa, what is going on there?" She looks pretty ripped. Two-thirds of liberal members, 67% of liberal members were barred from voting. What I'm saying is the guy isn't a puppet. He's the top of the World Economic Forum. He will try to rig the election. Well, look, I know there's a sentiment going around Canada right now that the Liberal Party is making a comeback in that election. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, listen, I don't know enough. You know more than me about that the politics and the environment there. From what I know, the Canadians, the Conservatives still have a good chance to win, even with all this Trump stuff and the narrative that Trump is galvanizing the left in Canada. I still think the Conservatives going to win. Listen, I don't really care who wins. For Trump, it might even be better. Well, you want a good relationship, but even the conservative Paul Vier there is saying that he wants to tariff the United States really hard. So does it really matter for Americans who wins in Canada? I mean, yeah, I guess we want the conservative in, but SPX below 400 million. Yeah, I saw that. Elon Musk saying we should really exit NATO. It doesn't make sense for America to pay for defense of Europe. Yeah, this is what Musk said last week. You can see all the comments, the angry Europeans. But I mean, Musk gets just crazy engagement anyways. Exit NATO, Mike Lee. Based Mike Lee says. You call yourself based? I don't know about that, man. That's, come on. You're glazing yourself or something. What's your bear price on Ethereum? I mean, hopefully Ethereum at least goes to 7 or 8,000. Hopefully. It's hard to say it's going to do that, though, based on what it's done, even during. I mean, we had some really good months and Ethereum wasn't doing much, but I still hope it's going to at least go to 10K. Again, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's going to need a huge run. Are Canada's tariffs illegal? Seems weird because the USMCA would allow retaliation tariffs, but not tariffs for any reason but national security. Yeah, I guess under that trade agreement they allow retaliation. I don't know. I mean, it does seem like Trump did the fentanyl thing just to be able to use national security as an excuse to tariff them. Cash was making rounds at UFC last night, posting photos with Mel Gibson and Andrew Tate. Cash Patel was posting photos with Andrew Tate and Mel Gibson. Well, I mean, it's, you got to get to work at some point. But I mean, they're going to have to release something with the Epstein files. We know this is something has to come out. They said there was going to be a phase 2, so hopefully there ends up being a phase 2. I don't know. Did you see what Romania did? Yeah, I saw that. Well, didn't they originally say that he illegally One because of TikTok. I think that's the same thing. That's crazy, man. That is a terribly corrupt country. They're barring a really right-wing guy from winning. They said, oh, he manipulated TikTok somehow. What? Israel wants war with Iran. Well, they want U.S. to have war with Iran. They want all the Arab countries weakened. That's what it is. And with Trump, I don't know. I'm not ready to say Trump is going to do anything. I mean, I think Trump knows it would be very bad for him with his base if he did anything to Iran to escalate. But I mean, he thinks the nuclear talk is going to give him an opportunity if there's no deal when they do their negotiations. Thoughts on Andrew Tate with Patel? It's surprising that Patel, a little bit surprising with Patel there with Andrew Tate. I mean, but it's nothing earth shattering, I guess. Pepe, what's up, man? 15-day streak. Epstein files debacle was the first major blunder of the Trump administration. Yeah, and it looks like he's getting ready to make another one in the Middle East, but we'll have to see what he ends up doing there. I would say that was definitely a blunder. I mean, you can't call it anything else. You could also say maybe the tariffs and what he's doing, but you have to give him time with the tariffs. It just kind of seems like from the people around Trump, like he's very unpredictable. Just very unpredictable. That's why it's hard to really, for me to say, well, he's doing this and it's going to produce this result, because it's like he changes his mind the next day. Not used to it being daylight at 6 o'clock, but yeah, I mean, it's light outside right now. I had to bring my blind down. I'm gonna put my blind up because I'll get more natural light coming into this room. I could have, but I have to wait for the sun to set. This room is really bad based on where the sun sets. The sun sets like right into the window. It rises on the other side of the house, but then it sets right into this window in this office. It's bad. During the summer, it's bad. During the winter, it doesn't matter. Another plane crash in Pennsylvania. What was it? Was it involving a commercial? Was it involving? Was it a small private plane, or was it a big? Was it a like airliner? Iran's government is running on fumes. I mean, so many of those Middle Eastern countries are a mess. It's like you could say that about a number of those countries. People in America need to be more grateful for the Constitution that they are. Well, yeah, I mean, no, I hear what you're saying. The Constitution, especially considering when it was thought of in the 1700s, it's really a groundbreaking political maneuver. Not everyone cares about the Epstein files. Well, everyone, at least to a degree, should care about the Epstein files, I would say. But I mean, not that it doesn't really matter if we care or not. They're not going to release the stuff that we want, or the stuff's already been destroyed. Has Please peaked? Probably. I mean, like the whole thing with JD Vance, it just seems like it would be surprising for a JD. I mean, who knows though? It's like if JD Vance already interacted with it, we'll see if it forms support anywhere. I mean, it's at 18 million, 19 million right now. Oh yeah, this thing that Matt Walsh posted. Look at this Boomer Award. Why not spend that time learning how to play actual guitar? That's got to be a Boomer of the Year moment for Matt Walsh there. Come on. You asked Grok. It seems Canada can only do retaliatory tariffs legally if they are within a dispute settlement process. You might go viral with a Canada tariffs are illegal. Yeah, but there's no way they're actually illegal. Their government's not that stupid. What, illegal under the North American Trade Agreement? Christians are apparently getting slaughtered in Syria. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that Middle Eastern news is, but isn't that what was going to happen? I mean, everyone expected that to happen. It's very, very bad. Regime change in the Middle East or really anywhere normally creates a power vacuum. It makes the situation just as bad or even worse. It's just more unstable. Crypto market is wrecked. Yeah, I mean, this is just, dude, look at the stock market. Trump knows this has got to be a turnaround. It has to be a turnaround. It can't keep getting this bad. There's going to be a turnaround. I mean, Trump and his kids are all invested into Bitcoin and Ethereum, so their portfolio is like hundreds of millions of dollars. There's no way we're headed for a bear market right now. I mean, a bear market eventually will happen under Trump. It's inevitable because of the 4-year cycle. But there's gonna have to be a turnaround, hopefully within the next month or so. I mean, yeah, right now there's either, you could call it really good entries or just the start of a bear market. Atheists are normally left. Oh, absolutely. Of course, atheists are left wing. What's up, Spectacular? What's up, man? Early thoughts on Trump's first 2 months? Well, a quick rundown. I mean, I think Trump did a lot. What he was going to say, he did a lot in terms of what he had promised. There's some things. I mean, it's 2 months in. It's politics. It's hard to get the ball rolling on some of the stuff. But we'll see how he handles both the war situations. I think that's the big thing that people are wondering because they're both coming to a head right now. The Ukraine situation is probably easier to deal with. I mean, obviously, liberals are going fucking bananas saying that, oh, he's appeasing Putin. But it's a more nuanced than just, we know that. That's easier than the Middle East because what you're dealing with is you're dealing with a lot of people waking up to the Israel stuff. And if Trump really goes balls to the wall, especially against Iran, and obviously the stuff he said about Gaza, I mean, how does that situation get solved? They're not going to leave willingly, the Palestinians. I think all eyes for Trump are on the Middle East. They're in Eastern Europe. Yeah, you've got the stuff. Obviously, it's very important with the tax cuts, getting the spending bill. And for him, I mean, what is he doing with these tariffs? He does use the tariffs as leverage. I get it. But I've kind of just stopped, commenting too much on the tariffs because I'll say one thing and then he'll just do the opposite. And it's not like I'm trying to be wrong, but it's like, and even the people that talk to Trump, they're like, we just don't know what he's going to do. He says, well, he wants to go forward with the tariffs because they're going to generate you. If you go forward with the tariffs, you can do that. It's going to hurt the economy short term. Or you just say, no, we're not doing the tariffs. Or you can put tariffs on China and still be fine. But if you do put tariffs on 25% tariffs on the EU, 25% tariffs on China, 25% tariffs on Russia and Mexico, you're going to have some short-term economic downturn. What does Trump mean? Free speech is back. Why are they still suppressing movies like Beverly Hillbillies, 1993? Well, it's just a saying. With liberals, you had a lot of censorship, and I mean, there's always going to be censorship within an administration. That's the reality. But obviously, under Trump and under Musk, it's certainly a lot more free than it was. So it's not just Trump; it's also Musk as a catalyst with X, because X is the #1 platform in terms of discussing politics. Written, I should say. Obviously, you could say YouTube, just overall. You want your 5,000 stimulus check? Yeah, I haven't heard much about that. The Doge, it's not a stimulus. the thing is people are telling me, and I agree. It's the Doge dividend. It's not a stimulus. The money is being reallocated. It's not being printed. Because a stimulus has a negative connotation because of how bad the stimulus checks caused inflation back in like 2021 and 2022. Right-leaning atheists. Well, I mean, certainly there are some people that are right-wing that are atheists, but it's a more it's a much bigger phenomenon on the left. Over the last 48 hours, F-16 jets have twice intercepted general aviation planes in close proximity to President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. General aviation planes, huh? I wonder what that is about. Secret Service shooting today. I'm not even sure what happened. The U.S. Secret Service shooting an armed man near the White House early Sunday morning. Secret Service agents shot a 27-year-old man from Indiana near the White House after he brandished a firearm on a confrontation. Yeah, this is this is someone that maybe was trying to unalive themselves. I don't know. More like a tax rebate. Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say it's a tax rebate, like because I have a big tax I have a big tax bill, so it'd be just like 5K off my taxes. Israel stuff is really heating up on right-wing Twitter. Yeah, how fast did that go mainstream with Israel? Went mainstream really quickly. And I wonder how that develops, that conversation about Israel and what Trump ends up doing. Because it has to get to Trump at some point with a lot of his supporters. Not really. It's an interesting dynamic. You think Ethereum will hit at least 5K? I think we need a bit more than 5K, man. I'd like to see at least go to 7 or 8K. I mean, I know it's done shit this cycle, but it's like 5K would be. I mean, if you said Ethereum only hits 5K like a year ago, that'd be real bad. But I mean, with the context of the price action we've had recently, you might be right. Hopefully, it goes above 5K. Hopefully it even reaches 5K because, but like, this is why making money is not necessarily that easy. You got to sit through shit like this. It's not just automatically going to go up, and you're going to have a bunch of people doubting and selling, and it's just. I mean, maybe it is the start of a bear market, but it's like I would rather just hold and have the belief that we're actually going to get an alt season. What if you don't report your crypto income? Did you make any money in crypto? I'm not sure how they track that. I mean, I guess once you cash out, whenever you cash out, the year you cash out, they could possibly look back. I don't know. I know the IRS is they're firing a bunch of their agents anyways, though, so I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many transactions within crypto. It depends how much money you make. I mean, if you don't report a fuck ton, if you make like a million and don't report it, it's probably it's an issue. But I mean, it depends if Trump takes away the capital gains tax. The only thing you would have to report either he would take away all the taxes or it would just be based on income. So if you put 20K into crypto, you make like 500 trades, whatever, you come out with like 2 million USD. You're not taxed on any of the transactions. You're just taxed on and that's really how it should be. You shouldn't be taxed on transactions. That's the problem with this bullshit that we're dealing with, this tax system we're dealing with. If you like make, let's say you invest into Ethereum and you make like a 2x and you sell, that's a taxable event. It's complete bullshit. Like, sell as in exchange it for another currency, cryptocurrency, not cash it out. Obviously, if you cash it out, that I would say, yeah, that's a taxable event. But if you turn $2,000 to $5,000 and you want to go into another cryptocurrency, you exchanging the $5,000 is taxable, which is fucking bullshit, and that's what Trump needs to change. Do you think Israel bought Trump? Well, there's a system within the United States. I mean, there's just so many different facets of the US government, especially when you get in. And the number one most important thing when it comes to, I don't want to say owning an individual, more so like control, is money. And so obviously that, very wealthy people are going to give Trump money, and it's going to buy him a certain level of trust with those people and what their prerogatives are and what they want. But it's like, imagine you actually became president, like, it's so overwhelming, the amount of people just, and so there's all these, it's just, with AIPAC, they have just such a mass control over foreign policy within that region. Europeans and Canadians talk about US health care, though, and the taxpayer still pays a huge amount for it, and the wait times are horrific. 40% of taxpayer funding in Europe goes, the wait times, no, you get, if you have, and this is what I'll say, in the United States, if you have a decent job or you have money, you'll get very good health care, 100%. Very good health care. But it's costly. It does cost you money. And yeah, we don't have universal because it's obviously a very complex thing, and there's problems with universal. But look, I mean, I think everyone should have health care, but it's like, it's not as simple as just allowing universal, because there's other problems with it. I mean, I've looked into healthcare. It's a total mess in the US with the insurance company. I mean, look at Medicare and Medicaid, the amount of waste that's in that, the amount of fraud that's in that. They really should look into getting the fraud out of Medicare and Medicaid. I don't think they're going to do it, though. The problem is it's so unattractive to cut anything out of those entitlement programs, because people, they view that as obviously their right to have them. And so when you go after them, it's like a double-edged sword. You want to cut the waste. I mean, I've seen things that's estimated like 200 billion. I mean, the entitlement programs are just a ridiculous amount in terms of the US government spends. It's like 20, there's more money spent on the entitlement programs than the defense sector by a lot. Thoughts on Tucker Carlson? Yeah, Tucker's made this turn of a little bit further right, it seems like, with it's kind of like a normie thing that's happening with a lot of these people, where it's this anti-Israel thing. I mean, I wouldn't say it's normie, but it's becoming more mainstream. Any updates on Polymarket? We'll try and find some new markets here. Shake and Shack accepts Bitcoin before July. Is that even a rumor? Next on Coinbase. Whew, why even have this? Higher, really? Dude, this coin I think is really low in market cap. Hold on, is this the coin that's... I was looking at this coin. Yeah, this is on base. This might be a good play, honestly, not financial advice. Like, you look at where this coin is at right now. I've just seen it everywhere. Like, they obviously have money, like capital invested into it. $115 down to 5 million. I mean, you'd want it to go to multi-billions to make serious money. The problem is when, I like finding coins under like 1 million, honestly, because I want to make like 100x. The fact that this coin's even listed on here tells me, like, I don't know, but some of these other ones, SPX, I think SPX should probably get listed, honestly. I thought SPX was already on Coinbase until I looked like a few weeks ago. I thought Biden beat Medicare. Yeah, he beat it to death. What does he even mean by that? Dude, he was literally, I rewatched that. I rewatched that a few days ago. I don't know. I just saw the debate just randomly on YouTube. And he was like, he took like a 10-second pause and then said, "We finally beat Medicare." You want Saskatchewan? Yeah, Saskatchewan's a little less conservative than Alberta, though. But I understand. Saskatchewan would be the second most valuable province that you would want, and they're right next to they're right to the east of Alberta. Efficiency coin is 3,400%. So what is that? A 340x gain away from its all-time high, or a 30? I think it's a 34x. Yeah, that would be a 34x. So a 34x to its all-time high for Department of Government Efficiency. Base B3 is your only coin in green right now. Dude, I don't even check my portfolio. I haven't checked my portfolio in probably like a month and a half, honestly. Because it's like, I'd rather not look at it. There's no point in looking at it. It's just, it's not going to be good. But maybe I should take a look at my portfolio, dust it off a little bit. Dust off I look at my Solana portfolio pretty much every day because it's just a trading portfolio. He was struggling that entire debate. Yeah, he was, especially the first half of that debate. He kind of became more what we thought we were going to get with the second half of the debate. The first half was terrible. The first half was like he was drugged, like legit drugged. What does this dude look like?
And now this is going to be some real goddamn intimidation.
Okay.
Dude, you're like fucking filming your dick.
Now we're going to get a real record of the Trump intimidation.
Yeah, Jesus, man. I don't know. Some crazy person got shot.
The next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, with 131,600.
Like, how do people
resulting
I guess.
29,450.
He's so accomplished.
Allocated points representing 85.9% of the vote.
We've just had the announcement that Mark Carney is now the new Prime Minister.
Why not create a whole American empire and go to Africa? Their leaders are insanely corrupt and have put the minerals to waste. Well, yeah, there's so much untapped potential in Africa, but with the way our current structure is, our checks and balances, there's no way anyone, unless we went really hard. I mean, I'm not even sure if right wingers would want to do anything in Africa, because it's just, you know, colonization. I mean, I don't really mind it, but I don't think it would be something people would want. I mean, people don't even want Greenland. You know, a lot of these people don't want Greenland. So even right wing people, some people don't want Greenland. They just want like an America first, and I can appreciate that. I can, but I mean that Greenland is like such a small thing, just small little get. It's not going to cost you much. Opinion on Phantom? I use Phantom. That's the wallet that I use for Solana. I'm thinking of getting a Keystone wallet. It's like a cold wallet, but it has an actual screen. I mean, because a ledger is just, I mean, I guess the ledger is fine. X is objectively both bad and boring. Something needs to change. It's too fast-paced, body, and cringe. I mean, I think X is just, to me, it entertains me. Because I'm constantly getting news, you know, on the For You page and stuff. I mean, I've been just randomly posting shit on X. I'm really not very good at using X, honestly. That's what I realized. Because I was like, I should probably have more followers, but this is, maybe need to post some more stuff or format it differently. I don't know. Is crypto finished? That's a bottom signal. What you just said, it's a bottom signal when you say ask if it's finished. We have to get to the point where people think it's finished and it's done. But look at the stock market. The stock market's going to rebound under Trump. It has to. But this is a critical time. We need the next 3 or 4 months for a recovery. But Bitcoin looks fine, dude. But the thing is, I'm starting to like lose hope in comparing Bitcoin to actual alts because it's like Bitcoin is so much more accepted than any altcoin at this point. Like Bitcoin is totally mainstream. Everybody accepts it as a legit asset, but no normie accepts any other coin. So it's like us saying that Bitcoin is still holding up decently well. If you look at its chart, it is. Like, it still looks like a bull market for Bitcoin. For the alts, it does not. But it's like, do we have to differentiate Bitcoin from the alts now because of how mainstream Bitcoin is? Too much engagement farming on X. Yeah, I mean, that was going to happen, though, if you incentivize it. That's what Musk has done. But even incentivizing it with the monetization, I don't even think people make much money on it. A lot of fake news on X. Yeah, you're telling me. There'll be accounts with like 400K, 500K, and they say just fake shit. I mean, at least they have the community notes, but sometimes it doesn't really even catch that. Show us your JD Vance meme collection. It is kind of funny what happened with JD Vance. I mean, just a random internet culture thing. X is the default news feed for most. No, I agree. I mean, it's definitely a weapon that can be used. Do you think Trump will go to Greenland if they declare independence? Well, what do you mean, go to Greenland in what way? I mean, I think there's going to have to be some type of deal that's worked out with the people of Greenland, obviously, for us to be able to buy them. I mean, technically, we don't have to. We could just take over Greenland, but personally, I really wouldn't give a shit if we just took over Greenland. Liberals would get angry. I don't give a fuck. But you have to be diplomatic about it, I guess. He missed an opportunity not hiring Laura Loomer as an advisor. You being sarcastic? You disagree, but we'll see. Trump talks about tariffs like every other day. Markets don't like that. Yeah, obviously markets don't like that. Let's just allow for the tariff talk to calm down with Trump. I mean, but I don't even think he's put the 25% tariffs on the EU yet. If that happens, oh God. We're going to have a fun time defending that. This is a legendary streak. This is a huge streak. This is like Cal Ripken 2.0. Do you think Mark Carney is going to be more moderate or more liberal than Justin Trudeau? It doesn't really matter. He'll probably, I would imagine he'd probably, at least in this time, because the election's upcoming, try and appeal more to being moderate, because it seems like Canada is going more conservative this cycle. Bondi must resign for the Epstein stunt. Yeah, I don't think she will. I mean, we'll see what happens with the part 2 of this release or whatever. I mean, it was terrible. I agree. But I don't think she's gonna resign, unless she really has nothing and The Zelensky F him video. That was a funny video. I respect something like that. Dude, that was an all-timer. The Zelensky video. X isn't censored. Holy hell, it's not perfect, but at least it isn't censored like YouTube and other tech platforms. Blue Sky, just for beta males, left-wing. Yeah, Blue Sky is unusable. We know that. It's like a Reddit in terms of politics. And that's the thing with X is X, you'll get both right and left. And also, it's not censored. You keep trying to explain that Trump is trying to get interest rates lower before we have to refinance the debt this year. It will take time, and the benefits will outweigh that. Well, yeah, I have seen other people say that as well. He's trying to get it to 2%. I'm not sure that's even possible, though. But I mean, that's something we could say. Rumor has it an election will be called next Sunday. An election, the Canadian election. So it's upcoming soon. Yeah, that Myles Garrett deal was pretty crazy. I mean, how are you paying for? I mean, I guess that's just the market. You could argue he's the best defender in football, but 40 million AV per year. That's a crazy deal, man. DK Metcalf went to the Steelers. Is that real? For what draft pick, I wonder. Ukrainian soldier enraged with Zelensky. You will pay for everything. Yeah, well, yeah, they're taking these soldiers. It's unfortunate. They're taking these soldiers from the streets, and they're forced to keep fighting. And these soldiers are getting the worst deal out of anyone, because it's all a proxy war for Europe and for the United States to weaken Russia by just throwing hordes of Ukrainians at Russia. X still functions as a true marketplace of ideas with both sides having. I know, dude, that's the thing. That's why, as long as X is able to keep that, it'll still be a very usable platform for news. When you've got stuff like Truth Social, who's using Truth Social? I mean, I never really tried Truth Social, but just like in general, you want to have both sides available. Second rounder. Yeah, that's about right. People find out quickly Mark Carney is not a nice moderate guy. He tries to sell. Well, yeah, but he's going to try and sell that because he knows where this election is. It's more conservative based, so he's going to try and sell himself as a moderate. I mean, I think the Conservative Party will win there, but we'll see. So Canada just appoints a lame duck prime minister in between elections. Yeah, the way these other countries do their elections, I would be irate. But yeah, we'll just have an election next week. What? That's what it is with these countries. But I mean, Trudeau had to step down. He was basically bullied out. He had like an approval rating of 5%, and then tried to galvanize the country with the trade war and stuff, but then doesn't say anything about China doing the tariffs as well. Will the minerals deal will happen? Well, hopefully the minerals deal happens this week. I mean, we need some big news about that. That would be good. Get the minerals deal. You get some other stuff happening. I prefer not much happens in the Middle East, but if something happens, I mean, it's hopefully not, Trump he's threatening escalation with Iran if they don't agree to not have any nuclear bombs. And that's just Trump's negotiations, I think. It's just negotiation threats. I mean, that seems like a pretty fair deal. Second round pick. DK kind of fell off a little bit last year. He's still a big bodied. He's a decent receiver. Thoughts on Vance Rubio ticket for 2028? I think it's pretty likely right now. 2028 is an eternity away. Who knows where Tulsi is going to be? RFK Jr. is going to be. Some other people within the administration. there's a number of people. And you know what? I've heard something. I watched a video about, Ivanka Trump possibly being involved here. I don't think it's going to happen, but you just don't know. We can't really speculate what the ticket is going to be just because in the political sense, in the political sphere, 3 years is an eternity. And that's the thing with these liberals. You get a lot of conservatives saying, well, the liberals have no one. I mean, you hear like Andrew Schultz, they've got nobody. Well, dude, this is like, there's no point of even talking about 2020. They're going to galvanize around someone and they're going to try and, I mean, we'll see who it ends up being. You can say right now they have no one, but 3 years is a really long time for 2028. That's why 2028 right now is really irrelevant. I mean, we have to see what Trump does with the economy and obviously the 2 wars as well. Election called next Sunday, voting in April. Yeah, isn't that kind of what people expected? Thoughts on Davante Adams to the Rams? I was surprised he got as big of a deal as he did. I mean, I guess I kind of thought he was washed, but maybe that was just Aaron Rodgers was washed because the Jets traded for him, and he really didn't do much with Rodgers. But I mean, I guess he probably still has 1 or 2 good years left. The problem with the NFL is these players depreciate so quickly. They all just depreciate within like a year. They're done. Especially the running backs, but also the receivers depreciate really quickly as well. Hot take, but you think Biden was less senile but was made more idiotic because they pumped him up with drugs expecting him to flop, but instead it just made it worse during that debate? Yeah, it was very clear something happened with Biden in that first half of the debate. They might have tried pumping him up with something and it shut him down. There was something off with Biden in the first half of the debate, because the second half of the debate, I mean, he's still terrible, but it was basically the exact same Biden we saw at the State of the Union whenever that was in February of 2024 it would be. But then they must have gave him something and he just shut down. And then he finally started to wake up in the second half of the debate. There's a set date for the election. It's supposed to be October 20th, but it can be moved forward. Only difference is it's not fixed permanent date. Yeah, I mean, I think it should be fixed, honestly. But I mean, I guess for you guys, that might be better. Just watched the latest bracketology video. Nebraska is 100% done because they missed the Big Ten tournament. They finished bottom 3rd. That's kind of weird that teams miss their conference tournaments now. I don't think that used to happen, but now with the conferences as large as there. Yeah, I did see the Big Ten, and it was like Iowa was like the last seed. I was like, how is that possible? Well, they don't have all the teams in the tournament because there's so many teams on each conference now. Pretty messed up. Canada threw a fit when U.S. announced tariffs, but when China did, it was crickets. Pretty lame for an ally. I know. You know what, dude? I was thinking a few days ago about Pierre Poilievre and what he said about how they supported Ukraine. Why don't they just... I mean, we are so much more powerful than Canada. You'd think they would just be like, listen, we respect the United States. If the United States wants the war to be over, we value their opinion. But these countries, it's like they're like 15-year-old girls trying to sneak out of the house or something. They're like this for these rebel countries. And there's never any respect for the United States because for these countries, they're all very liberal, so they hate Trump. And it's always this thing to where who can hate Trump more? And there's never any respect for the United States. It's very sad, honestly. Like, you know what? Your opinion really doesn't matter. I mean, you're bordered. The most powerful country in the world is to your south. You're in a military agreement with them. Maybe value their opinion. Enough of this pompous, arrogant, bullshit liberalism. This shit's got to be over with. But I mean, we can't tell other countries. They can do what they want, but I'm just saying. Trump is taking questions at Air Force One. Well, maybe we'll get an update on that. Maybe we'll get an update on some of these questions if there's any huge questions. We won't die for Ukraine. Wow. Joe Lenardi hates North Carolina. Yeah, I think North Carolina could probably get in as a first four game. We can't stabilize climate control until we get zero net emissions. Well, yeah, go talk to China. The United States has been operating neutral in terms of net emissions recently. We stabilized ours. Now our net emissions are linear. If you actually care about net emissions, theirs are rising exponentially. When it comes to Greenland, it seems so small, but in this liberal world, it's much bigger than it seems. Oh, I mean, it's an important country strategically, but mainly for the minerals, mainly for the rare earths and things like that. But I mean, strategically, it's important as well. But on a map, it's smaller. It is distorted on a map. Worst quarter one ever.
Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? You said, look, we're going to have a disruption, but we're okay with that. Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? What other disruption were you alluding to?
Look, what I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that. You have to do what's right. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future. Tremendous.
And so this is exactly what we thought he was going to say. Trump is talking about putting things in place that may short-term cause some uneasiness. Long-term, this is the solution. I mean, that's what tariffs are. Possibly, maybe lower interest rates. Maybe that's what Trump wants. I mean, listen, it takes time to do this. You can't just judge it off a quarter. France won't die for anything, but they will surrender over everything is what you should have said. Yeah. Remove our military bases out of the UK. Even if we left NATO, I don't even think the countries in Europe would still want to have a good relationship with the United States. But yeah, I mean, maybe if Trump wants to limit our exposure, I mean, it is good for having influence, the military bases. But it is crazy that the United States has so many military bases in other countries compared to any other country. Well, yeah, the EU is kind of a joke too, because they don't call out anything that goes against what they hate, like a right winger in Romania getting stripped of being able to participate in an election because, oh, he would be right wing. Thoughts on the updated renderings? Yeah, I talked about that yesterday. The renderings for the A's Stadium. I think they look kind of cool, honestly. They do. They got a decent amount of natural light coming in. It's a unique stadium design. I just think the fan base is not going to be very good. It's going to be a lacking fan base in Vegas. It's just all tourists. There's no actual fans there, so it's like same thing that happened to the Raiders. Why were liberals glazing Biden? Because, I mean, it's a team. It's a tribal thing. Tiffany Fong and Andrew Tate are flirting. Well, that's a great update, bro. You're like the E News. You keep telling me this stuff. It's like We need a ceasefire with 2 wars. Absolutely. I think it's the Ukraine war that's going to end first. They said he was a Russian asset. Oh, it's always the Russians. Trump's a Russian asset. Anyone that wants the war to end is a Russian asset. dude, did you see that? Did you see that tweet I put out this morning? That was a good tweet. That was like, dude, I'm at this this breakfast place. We're waiting in line for like 30 minutes. Dude, it's a huge place too. The food, the portions, the amount of people, we're all congested at the front waiting to fucking find a table. There's like 5 tables open, and the place that we're at, it's like this it was a former like Japanese place or some shit, and they turned it into this just buffet, this all American. It's not even a buffet, but it's like, you know, some breakfast bullshit. Dude, breakfast culture, I don't know, man. Yeah, people didn't like that tweet too much. I thought it was pretty funny. Pancakes or waffles? I would take waffles. I normally just eat eggs and hash browns in the morning. High Point punched its bid today. Seems like High Point's been in the tournament like 3 or 4 straight years. Joe Rogan to have Kanye West on. Apparently, did you see what Joe Rogan said to Kanye? I mean, Kanye is just, I don't even know why people... The Kanye was texting a fake Joe Rogan, and then he deleted it. Because I showed this on stream, and this was ended up not being real. You should do a podcast with Kanye West. It would break the internet. Oh my goodness, look at this bot. Golden Corral? No, it wasn't Golden Corral. Tweet maps of the 51st state. Yeah, those maps are those get good views. There's been some people that criticize me though for tweeting that. But I mean, they you know, it's there. Whenever I tweet a map out, that's good. Pancakes. Oh, the thing is, I hate syrup. I can't eat syrup. I hate syrup, man. Syrup is nasty. I've hated syrup all my life. Drake is 30-3 going into the tournament. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Drake is, though, they've had a lot of really close wins. If you look at it, obviously they're in a very easy conference. They've had a lot of very close wins. I mean, they're an impressive team, though. They always seem to be in the tournament. Thoughts on Chipotle? I mean, Chipotle's fine. I haven't had Chipotle in a while, but it's fine. I don't know. You got blessed yesterday. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Wen Diesel. That was a really good payday for me, honestly. Dude, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be able to do this this video because where is this? Yeah, I'm gonna be able to do this video even though it can't be monetized because I'm gonna make a lot of money off of March Madness, and I made a lot of money yesterday, so I can do like this little project video. This video is probably gonna take me like I mean, I could do this video in like 2 days, but it'll probably be 5 days because I do it sporadically. But this will be a good video, trust me. I think a lot of people will watch this video if I do it, just because I know I have a 9/11 fan base and they'll be really interested in this, even though I can't monetize it. I'm gonna include a lot of the photos that I normally don't include and stuff either in my 9/11 videos, because I try and monetize my 9/11 videos, but this one I know is not getting monetized. You hate even real maple syrup? Yeah, I just hate maple syrup, man. Maple syrup is nasty, dude. I just can't do it. It's just sticky. It's just, oof. Oh, it's sticky, man. Maybe it's the texture of it. I don't know. Chipotle is way too expensive. I haven't had Chipotle in a while, honestly, man. But everything is getting more expensive. I mean, that's the inflation we've had. It's like 20% inflation or 9%, whatever the fuck it is, under Biden. It was really more like 15% if you added it all up. Oh, yeah, a lot of people like syrup, huh? I think there's a decent amount of people that hate syrup, though. It's really it's just like the stickiness of it. I can't deal with the stickiness of it. The live streams are cool for interactive news. You like the short videos, though? They are good topics. Yeah, well, this wouldn't even be a short video. This would probably be like a 40, 50-minute video, honestly, if I did it. I mean, they keep bringing this guy's irrelevant, though. It's like, this is just an irrelevant liberal who's going to be not in power in 2 months. Can you send me a few cigars to smoke on stream? I don't smoke, honestly, man. I don't smoke. I don't drink. Am I a pro legal weed guy? Honestly, no, I'm not. I think it's nasty. I think a lot of us are starting to be able to say, no, it's just nasty, and yeah, we don't want to smell it. And weed is not good. It really dumbs people down, and it makes people accomplish less. So I think weed, it's what I... Listen, if it gets legalized, I guess it's fine, but I don't smoke weed. I'm not interested in it. Dry pancakes and waffles. Yeah, I've had dry... I mean, with waffles, you need butter, though. I guess pancakes also butter. Yeah, no, you really can't do dry, because then it's... There's nothing to it. It's going to be... You're going to need something to drink. You have to put butter on them. Butter on on a waffle is good. I had some really good waffles, I remember, like a while ago. If you go to like a good waffle place, yeah, the waffles can be really good. Weed just makes you dumb and lazy. All downside. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I agree with you. I mean, if people want to smoke it, that's whatever. I mean, but there was this movement within the conservative party. So it's like, oh, weed, we love weed. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like weed. It's just, but should you go to jail for it? I guess not. Legal weed is such a mid-2000s thing. So non-relevant anymore. It's just small potatoes. Yeah, but I'm starting to notice some topics come back. Like, there's some certain topics that are coming back that are mid-2000s. Gay marriage is another one that's coming back a little bit. I don't know if it will, but there's some certain topics that are starting to come back. Any updates with Trump? I mean, it's a Sunday. There's not going to be a... Officially, we're broke. Thank you, Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. This is bullshit. I mean, what do you... I can't even look at my portfolio. I don't even think there's an update with Trump. I don't know what it's a Sunday, so normally Trump's not going to be doing much. Soros-backed NGO behind censorship, working to block Romanian presidential pick. Your streams are the most fun to watch when you are reacting to things in the news, like videos or rock answers. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll react to it. Listen, I do want to, let me move this blind up, because I don't even think it matters. It might be actually pitch black right now. Let me see, let me move this up, hold on. It's already pitch black. I thought there was gonna be natural light coming in, but yeah, it's about 8:30. It still gets dark. You know what? In the summer, it'll be light until like 9:40. We're not gonna have this discussion again though, but it does stay up pretty late. Almost everywhere weed's been legalized has become a homeless encampment. Look at Portland. Look at Portland. It's a shithole. They legalized everything. The place is a shithole. There's homeless people all over the place. Can't even move. They flap like a fish. They're so addicted to meth. I mean, it's real bad. You're right on that. These places, you go to any place, you smell weed downtown. If I am a governor and I go to the downtown area and I smell weed, that's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. We're not gonna have weed downtown. We had people walking. It's not acceptable. The whale, Sean, what's up, man? Sean, what's going on, man? The whale makes an appearance. Soros is an awful human being. Soros should be in jail, absolutely. He's too rich, though. He's too protected. That's not the cause, though. Really, legalizing all drugs is not the cause why there's all these people addicted to stuff. I mean, yeah, it's bad liberal policy, sure. But I mean, when you legalize all of it, it's and then Rogan tries to say, well, look at Portland, look at Oregon, it's a hippie. They legalize everything. Yeah, it's a total shithole now. What do you think of Cash Jordan's vlog style? Crazy AI thumbnails look real. I'm not even sure who that is, honestly, man. Who's the whale? I don't know. He told me in chat yesterday he made $19K in the last 2 weeks. Thoughts on Pearl Davis? Like the man's rights woman? Just pearly things, really? Yeah, I mean, it's just part of the ether. No real opinion on her, I guess. I mean, she calls out women, that's good. Women, a lot of overinflated egos now with the internet. Selling fentanyl should be treated equivalent of murder. Well, absolutely. Fentanyl, it's like 1 grain, it'll kill you, or like half of a grain. It's really bad. Rapid Response 47. What you want me to look up that count? They tweeting stuff about Trump.
Going to take in hundreds of billions.
Come on, man.
All I know is this: we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich, you're not going to know where to spend all that money. I'm telling you, you just watch. We're going to have jobs. We're going to have open factories. It's going to be great. All I know.
What about the EU tariffs, though? Let's see. They asked me about this.
This money is one thing. We're going to lose. We spent $350 billion on this, but the big thing, human life. Thousands of people this week, thousands of young soldiers died this week. Hundreds of people died in cities in Ukraine. and we got to get it stopped. It would have never happened if I was president, and it didn't happen. This was not going to happen. By the way, October 7th wouldn't have happened. Inflation wouldn't have happened. The Afghanistan, the way not that they left, but the way that they left, it looks so bad. Probably the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. That wouldn't have happened. A lot of things wouldn't have happened, but it is what it is. I think we're going to have a good time. I think we're going to have a good result in Saudi Arabia, meaning they're hosting the various talks, and we have a lot of good people going out there, and I think Ukraine's going to do well, and I think Russia's going to do well. I think some very big things could happen this week. I hope.
Well, it is with Trump. It's just there's not much substance to that. You used to support recreational use of weed. You're talking about. You see the amount of dumbasses in moving into your favorite parts of the city. Repeal it, yeah. No, the weed is really bad. The smell of it's terrible. You go downtown, you get the weed smell. It's all over the place. But more people really understand that. And you want a clean city? I mean, there's no reason we should be smelling weed everywhere downtown. I smell a lot of weed sometimes. You go downtown, it's not good. Thoughts on XRP? XRP is it's a legendary coin, man. I mean, XRP, you could get like a 10x out of XRP, I think. Is XRP around $2 now? Canada has some really dark times ahead. It's bad news bears there, and they keep doubling down on leftists. Well, no, they're going to elect a conservative now, actually. Really, it's more of a moderate. It's like a Canadian conservative. You think alcohol is better than... No, alcohol is more dangerous than weed, but it depends. You need moderation, obviously. Your meme videos are interesting, but it could be fun if you did a weekly wrap up on all the coins that did go to the moon. Yeah, I've thought about doing like videos where I talk about like the big news and stuff. I just don't think they do very well. Like, there's just not, the thing is, my channel started, I don't want to get into a big thing, but I'll just say this. My channel started with, like, the first thing was March Madness, which is only like a month-long thing. So then you have to expand it. So then it's college football. Then it's stadiums. Then it's 9/11. Then it's politics. The problem is, like, crypto, it just doesn't, I'm not able to maneuver into crypto. It doesn't seem like. So I kind of gave up on doing that, especially now because it's March Madness. So I'd rather utilize my attention. Really, the three things I'm doing. Well, it's the live streams. I'm doing the live streams. More is a fun thing. I mean, yeah, I made a lot of money yesterday, but it's more of just a thing that I like doing. But it's the live streams, it's politics, obviously. It has to be politics. And it's March Madness right now. And then also there's a big 9/11 video that I'm going to be doing. No, it's a liberal. Just watch the new prime minister say he was a liberal several times. Yeah, but he's going to be voted out. They're going to have an election within the next month. Will Epstein coin go up? I mean, there needs to be news about it. I don't even know what it's at right now. I mean, things have been going really bad. It's not even on here. Great, I have to search it. Oh, it got crushed. God damn it. Well, now I gotta keep holding it. Yeah, we'll have to see if it gets another pump. Because this right here, this little pump it had was after they announced there was more, they found whatever. It's gonna we're gonna have to wait. I mean, this type of thing is so annoying though. It's infuriating because I would love to rotate, but I don't have any money in this coin. There's no money in it because it's down so much. I'm not Norm. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $4.99. Trump's aura has been off the charts since November. Slim, well rested. Height mogging Zelensky. Typing this from your Tesla autopilot. Yeah, the only time when Trump wasn't well rested was at the crypto summit. Seriously, you should see the clips of Trump at the crypto summit. He's like, "Yeah, you guys like this. It's good." They say something. It's like never sell your Bitcoin or something. Dude, it was pretty funny when he's like, he just didn't give a flying fuck about crypto. But I mean, it's better than the other administration, obviously. But yeah, Trump, I mean, he's definitely gotten thinner. They said he's lost like 25, 30 pounds, his doctor said. And the Zelensky video of him was just amazing. Remember the Zelensky video where he was like, I got the video, hold on. I should just flip this.
He's all dressed up today. He's all dressed up today.
Dude, he just looks humiliated.
He's all dressed up today. He's all dressed.
Imagine he goes back there. Zelensky's gonna have to go back to the White House. Imagine if that happens. How much you putting into these coins? I try and buy like 1% of the supply on really low cap coins. Really low cap coins. I try and buy like 1% of the supply. Aren't you kind of scared you'll miss an Epstein wick that only lasts a few minutes? A stop limit would totally save you. Yeah, but I don't really think that, what do you mean like a... I'm not sure there's going to be a crazy spike, honestly. It's probably going to be more speculation to where it'll just be selling based off a hype. So there'll be like a few hours to sell. I mean, I'll be watching it. I mean, yeah, I guess if I did that, it would be easier. But where would I put that at? Because if you do one of those and you put it like 500K and then the coin ends up at like 1.5 million, then... His reaction to the FIFA trophy was funny. It was like, wow, oh. He's like, we have a key. There's a key to the trophy. I saw the FIFA's launching a meme coin or whatever that Trump was talking about that. I was like, wait, that's serious? I just saw that today. FIFA coin. They've got it here. That's all we need is fucking FIFA launching a coin. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a fake coin. No, these are all fake coins. They don't have a coin yet. Rockster. And there's nothing on here. There is nothing. JD Vance is Jesus. 2 hours ago launched. Is the Epstein list still on Polymarket? Yeah, I think it is there. You have 2 X accounts? No, I don't. I don't know what happened to the other account. Someone reactivated the other username. That's what happened. So, but they don't tweet or anything. It's just a dead account. Do you like Cat Turd, the boomer? Not really. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on Cat Turd, but it's just like the Republican ether. I mean, online. That Trump trophy unveiling was some Bitcoin. That wasn't even a Bitcoin. It wasn't Bitcoin, bro. It was a freaking trophy that like it's like some bullshit 3D trophy. It was not a Bitcoin. People thought it was a Bitcoin, so I just said it was a Bitcoin because oh look, they got a Barron Trump meme. This market is brutal, man. But you just know these prices are amazing, but I just have to sit and I can't really do anything. And I think Trump is right here, but it takes time. We have to trust the people. It takes time. But this is when liberals say, "Oh, look at everything right now." How do you know? Because it's a short-term loss. That's what tariffs are. That's what the market currently is reacting to the situation. Spammers can get out of control on X. Yeah, well, it's just the other thing that it gets really bad is the low information replies that are just trying to get interactions. It's terrible. I think they've kind of eliminated those now, though. Yeah, the social security is a big problem because the way it was set up is not. It's basically there's not enough people working right now to be able to pay for the amount of people that are living because of modern medicine. We obviously like that more people are living because of modern medicine, but it's like a backlog. And so that's why Social Security is going to run out, and then they're saying they're going to have to limit the Social Security benefits to like 70% in 2034, I think, or 2035. But it's going to have to be reworked, but nobody wants to rework it because it's such an unbelievably unpopular political thing to do. But it has to be done by some administration. I don't know if Trump, I mean, Trump has kind of hinted at it, but I think Musk has talked more about Social Security. He talked about it on Rogan. Air Force One looks cozy. Yeah, man, it is crazy. The thing is, like, you think about those planes, and any of us would be like shocked when we get on it. But once you get on it like 100 times, it's just so normal for him. It's like it's just normal life. Once you get used to that type of stuff, it's pretty crazy. You invested into Trump? The Trump coin? No, I'm not. I would advise people not to invest in. Trump still hasn't even talked about his own coin. I think he knows it's kind of a scummy thing, but thoughts on Mark Zuckerberg trying to be like Musk? Yeah, Zuckerberg is trying to like switch to being a libertarian. It's happened for a while now, but it's mainly because Trump won. Part of it was happening anyways, to be fair to Zuckerberg. He was kind of changing before that. But it wasn't like he endorsed Trump or anything. He's just trying to kiss Trump's ass because he knows the administration is going to be in power for the next 3.5 years now. Bitcoin reaching down 7%. I mean, as long as it stays above like 75K, I think it'll be fine. Or 70K, whatever it is. Paid into that system and they should have invested into stocks. Yeah, but the argument is, well, stocks are risky for something that's assured. If you pay into it, the government can't risk the money, but they should have invested into stocks. You're right. Because look at what inflation did. I mean, what is it, just in bonds? I mean, inflation just killed it. Thoughts on Matt Walsh? That dude is. He's an awkward individual, man. That is an awkward person. Do you prefer DST, daylight savings, or standard time? It's optimized right now. Think about it. We've optimized it. I like both of them. I like when the clocks change. I like the clocks changing. I like it. But look, if you made me pick one, I would pick daylight savings. I would pick daylight savings because I don't like when it gets dark at 5 o'clock. It's bad. I get it. But when you have an optimization like this, look, Trump talked about changing it, said it was 50-50. He's right. It is a 50-50 issue. There are people that don't want it changed. Do a video on Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey, some good time traveler coincidences. Weird how connected Tesla and Trump's uncle were. I saw that clip on Joe Rogan where they were talking about that book. It is pretty crazy, man. It like that would be an interesting video to kind of do a deep dive on that. I mean, people will be like, "Oh, it's bullshit," but it's just odd that there were so many coincidences within that. Is DeSantis ever going to get his popularity levels back? Well, he does. With his base, he has really good popularity. 2022 levels. Well, even in 2022, he wasn't MAGA's favorite. It was Trump. Trump was just smeared after the election loss and had to build himself back up. DeSantis was never the #1 MAGA favorite. It was more of a speculative idea that DeSantis could beat Trump in the primary because DeSantis at the time in 2022 had a better approval rating than Trump. But DeSantis has always had a very good base in Florida, and his approval rating in Florida is amazing. The problem for him, and this will be interesting with Casey now, running against Donalds, because Donalds is the MAGA guy, so they're going against MAGA again. But now it's just Florida. It's not national. It's not like he's doing a primary against Trump. So they kind of have and obviously it's a Ron shadow campaign. I mean, they know Ron is going to be running things with Casey there, and there's going to be huge influence, and it's basically you're voting for the DeSantis family. I mean, that's what it is. So to me, he never really had the MAGA base. It was just speculation based off of Trump not really having a high approval rating after January 6th. And then Trump built his base back up. I mean, it was always there. He just had to build it up for the 2024 primary run. The sun going down at 4:30 is so depressing. Yeah, like that's when it's just like, I mean, I could deal with it going down at like 6 or 5:45, but especially in New York, you'll get the sun going down really early because of how Eastern it is. Reporters cried to Musk about big balls again. Yeah, I mean, it's such a bullshit out of context thing that you have to hire people under you, and those kids, you hire smart kids like that, they manage things. This is what happens. It's just what companies do. They're like, oh, the kid's not qualified. Well, the kid uses AI properly. He knows how to run things. They're cutting government waste. I don't know what you want. It's like, what do you want them to hire? Some federal worker who's like 72 years old? What do they want? Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying about that. He's an odd individual, Matt Walsh. You can't really explain it with him, but there's just, I don't know if it's a personality thing or what. I just, when you try and watch a video, it's always like he's in a state of unease. Like he's in a state of like this slight anger almost. What do you think Trump will do after the presidency? I think he will still be heavily involved in politics. That's just how it is with someone like Trump. I mean, at a certain point, he's going to get too old. I mean, he's definitely going to vacation a lot more, stuff like that, but he's still going to be heavily involved with Vance and whoever. On the peace talks between Russia, Ukraine, and America, you don't believe Ukraine will get back their territories. You believe Russia is going to have the east of Ukraine. Well, absolutely. The only way they could get back their territories is if NATO escalates. How are they getting back their territories in a negotiation? How would Russia Russia would, there's just no way Russia in a negotiation would agree to give up those territories that obviously they've invested a lot to get to. The only way they would give them up is if NATO said, we will invade your country. And then at that point, it probably just causes Russia to escalate the situation even more with Ukraine and start bombing them even harder, start using more longer range missiles. So it's just escalation. That's the only way that land gets back, unless there's some crazy, because remember, they thought they were going to be able to sanction Russia to death. The idea was if the West proxy basically kills the Russian economy and the Russian people's like hope, then Putin will say it's not worth it, let's pull out. But it never really happened. I mean, they sanctioned them heavily, but Russia just kept going. It's similar with the tariffs. Like if Trump decided to hardline tariff 25% a lot of these countries, the economy would certainly suffer, and it is suffering. And Trump's even pulled back the tariffs, but it's just the speculation of the tariffs is not good for the economy short term. But long term, you would see some significant improvement in terms of domestic production within the United States. And you would also have more high quality jobs. That's another thing. They were talking about Biden, like all of his numbers are so bullshit. Do you know when it comes to the jobs, they reported, number one, they would report false job numbers. So it's like, you guys know every month the job creation numbers come out and whatever. The first thing we had to do with Biden was they started saying that he created new jobs when they were just jobs that came back from COVID. Because when Biden got in, all the restrictions were still there, because that's like 2021 at the start of the year. I mean, you're dealing with all the variants of COVID, whatever, Omicron and all of them. So Biden gets in, he starts claiming that we're adding new jobs. No, the jobs are just coming back from the COVID period. And then on top of that, they started to just lie about their numbers. So they would say they gained, let's just say like 3,000 jobs in a month. And then 4 months later, it would be revised to like 70K. But nobody really cares about revising it. When the job numbers come out, that's the most important part. And so that's how the propaganda works. But the other thing they were doing with job numbers was they were starting to claim part-time jobs as jobs created that people were getting. So it's like someone would have a full-time job. Because of Biden's inflation, they would have to get a part-time job. And so that's a new job. So you have to understand, this is all manipulation. Thoughts on DK Metcalf to the Steelers? I mean, he's a solid receiver. They need I mean, if Russell Wilson's their quarterback, I don't think they're going to do much, Ben. It's frustrating because the market has dipped way worse than this before for reasons which were totally speculative with no upside. This time there is huge upside. I know, that's why I'm not leaving crypto at all. I'm keeping my positions in crypto. Listen, if I had, I mean, I do have capital, but I have to save money at a certain point. I need to save money. But I mean, if I had legit capital or I had made money off of another coin, I would be rotating and I would be buying more of coins. I mean, because it doesn't make sense for this to be the end of the cycle, not with the sediment, not with Trump coming in, not with the Trump family buying the amount of Ethereum they've bought, the amount of Bitcoin they've bought. It's just, it doesn't strike me as the end of the cycle. I think there's a big shakeout. A lot of people are probably going to be very regretful that they sell and leave, that they think this is the start of the bear market. I just don't believe that. They were manipulating unemployment numbers. Well, the unemployment numbers were kind of fucked because of COVID either way. But I mean, they were manipulating the crime as well. Remember, they started manipulating that by they like eliminated a felony or some shit, and it's like, oh, there's no felonies now. You can't even, they didn't report of felonies or whatever. They told counties not to report them. Thoughts on liberal reporter asking Musk about big bowls? Well, big bowls, obviously, he's an intern. He works. I mean, what's the big deal? I don't understand. Let's see if we can find this clip here.
up tonight? Where's Big Balls going tomorrow?
He didn't even respond. I mean, what do you guys? Who do you guys having me react to? Do you hold any other coins other than meme coins? I used to hold some utility plays. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with getting back into utility coins, like AI coins. The problem is there's so many different AI coins. It's hard to really give you a concrete best one. Yeah. I don't hold any other coins other than meme coins right now because, look, meme coins, they've got the most potential. Certainly, but dude, I would be fine, again, with buying AI coins or maybe a layer 1. Maybe an AI agent, possibly on base. Rest in peace, headphone users. I know, dude. It's like, that's the problem with this. It's when they take these videos with a helicopter or a plane, it's bad. Because the noise is just terrible. Trudeau was crying as he gives his resignation speech. Yeah, I saw that. I wonder what he leaves the office with. Maybe like a 20% approval rating, possibly. When is the Canadian election? Possibly next month. They're saying it's going to be called next month, maybe in the middle of April. Do you think Trump is watching that concerning the tariffs, or does it not matter? No, it wouldn't matter to Trump. If anything, you know, what does it matter if they elect a conservative or liberal? The Conservative Party said that Trudeau should have been harder against, have harder tariffs against Trump. So it's like, I don't really think it matters who gets elected. Trump is not concerned about who gets elected. They're trying to say that Trump is because of the tariffs, galvanizing them and allowing the Liberal Party to possibly win, but it seems unlikely. Can you explain base chain? Seems like it came out of nowhere in 2024, 2025. I just think base chain is basically Ethereum without gas fees. I mean, that was Ethereum's fatal flaw. Like, try and use Ethereum when there's during the heart of a bull run, when there's a bunch of traffic on it, there's a lot of transactions. You're going to be hit with $400 or $500 in a single transaction because of the fees. I mean, so it's like almost unusable at that point. I mean, you can still, if you're a whale, you can still use it, but I mean, I just think it's basically Ethereum with no gas fees. That's why all of the Ethereum coins now are bridging their coins to also be on base. We need a big balls meme coin. There already was one. It actually went to like 50 million. You bought $400 worth of Daddy Andrew Tate's coin. Yeah, I know that coin. I mean, that coin might do something. He always endorses it. It's, I don't know, these celebrity coins, it's like a losing endeavor with these. But you're kind of buying the bottom. I guess you got a decent entry, possibly. Yeah. April 18th is the election in Canada. Is that confirmed? $50 million people, 50 million Americans on welfare, 40% white, 25% Hispanic, 20% black. You want to get rid of it? I mean, you're giving me the demographics of it. I mean, there does need to be something in place that gets people off of it at a certain point. Has anyone checked into the Bannon bitch? It's nice. You see the Antonio Brown token? What is it, AB? I haven't seen it now. I don't know what it is, man. This is the Kanye variation. Mark Carney becoming PM will overshadow whatever happens in Greenland. Not that it matters anyway. Yeah, I mean, isn't Greenland's election tomorrow? Let me actually look this up. No, it's not. I got that wrong. It's April 6th. The Liberal Party. I mean, Greenland is liberal. It doesn't matter, though. Their population is very small. Why is everyone crazy about the Diddy list now all of a sudden? It's based off of people talking about the Epstein files, things being declassified, so they're kind of in that type of thinking, so then they want that. Thoughts on Bo Nix? I mean, he definitely had a good close to the year. Yeah, he could be a franchise quarterback. We'll see. We need new leaders for Canada and Ukraine to make any lasting agreements. Agreement in terms of what with Canada? I mean, no matter who they put in, it doesn't really affect us in a crazy way, I don't think. I mean, it's like, you mean to take the tariffs off? With Ukraine, yeah, I mean, it would be favorable if a new leader was installed in Ukraine, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Did you see the Bannon interview with Sky News? He totally wrecked them. It was savage. Steve Bannon, U.S. shouldn't do a deal with Ukraine as Zelensky had his best shot. Going to watch that? Tomorrow is the first day of NFL free agency. And we'll have to see what happens there. Why is Greenland so liberal? Harsh living conditions. Well, people thought Greenland was occupied by white people. It's not true. But they're very liberal. It's like an extension of Europe. That's the problem. But you are right. Like, harsh living conditions normally be more conservative, or at least not as liberal to the degree it is like 90% liberal. You're a Syracuse basketball fan? Syracuse had their day back in like the mid 2000s. They were really good through like 2015, 2016, then they fell off. That was the title. Let me look up the title. Hold on. Yeah, I'll listen to it.
Well, I'm pleased to say joining me now is Steve Bannon, former White House chief strategist to President Trump, of course, and now podcast host of Bannon's War Room. I know you recently had J.D. Vance on your podcast. I'm pleased we've got you on because we're hoping you can help us get into the mind of Donald Trump. I want to ask you first about your comments. You said you described Friday's meeting as the perfect outcome. What did you mean by that?
Because we got Zelensky out of there with a no deal and ridiculous minerals deal. Zelensky's a punk. I find offensive your chyron that Zelensky's ready to deal with the United States. I think people to the right of President Trump and people around President Trump, maybe not inside the White House, are strongly advocating absolutely no security guarantee, no minerals deal. Call the bluff of the EU, call the bluff of the United Kingdom, call the bluff of Macron. Let you guys step up, which you haven't to date, and actually do your fair share, if you want to, in Ukraine. We've had it. We're done with it. There's too much blood have been spilled, too much destruction. We called this from the very beginning. Exactly what's going to happen. It's time now to cut our losses. Isn't the perfect outcome peace, though? Doesn't that involve getting all the sides around the table? Why does Zelensky have a say-so in that? If we cut off arms to him, we cut off. If we cut off arms. Do you not think Zelensky should have a say? Sorry, can I just confirm? Do you not think Zelensky should have a say-so in the future of his own country? No, I do not believe Zelensky. Because first off, he's 16%. He's not even democratically elected. Right now, if EU wants...
Yeah, but it doesn't even matter if his supporters loved him or not. It's irrelevant. The problem is Ukraine would not beat Russia as it stands, so therefore Ukraine doesn't really have a say.
Wants a part of the table. Listen, if Zelensky wants a part of the table, have the United Kingdom step up, have France step up. Van der Leyen is saying you're going to do $800 billion defense raise. Have the people in the United Kingdom should ask, can you send 30,000 troops? This is not about the quality of British troops. Your valor and courage is unquestioned. Signals that we would put troops on the ground. Your valor and courage is unquestioned. You're in financial distress right now. You're very close to having a sovereign debt crisis. You don't have the money. You're totally underwater. Your economy's not performing. And you live in this fantasy, both the Tories and the Labour Party, just like Macron, that you have unlimited resources to send to Ukraine. The Russian army in 3 years had 800,000 casualties, has not taken Kharkiv, has not even gotten close to Kiev. They can't cross Poland. They can't go into Germany. You're living in a fantasy land. And somebody's got to talk some hard realities to the people of Europe of what you're actually about to take on. Zelensky is untrustworthy. He's a crook and a punk. And he showed what a punk he was in the Oval Office the other day. He should never be allowed back in. I don't think he should ever be allowed back in to the United States.
I think a lot of people would...
He shouldn't be allowed back into the United States. I want to see him do another meeting with Trump. Imagine the same thing happens. But he's right in terms of Russia. It's all fear-mongering. They fearmonger that Russia's going to take over the eastern side of Europe and all this. It's all total bullshit. Who's the girl on the left? I have no clue. Some Brit, I think.
Disagree with you on the point that President Zelensky is a crook and a punk. There were democratic elections.
I don't care if people agree with me. I don't care if people agree with me or not. I don't care if people agree. The point of principle here is that Russia invaded a sovereign country. We've sent $250 billion to Ukraine. $250 billion. President Trump says $350. $250. He says he can only account for $88 billion. We want a full investigation of where every penny went that the United States sent. And once that's done, you'll see why they're rated the third most corrupt country in the world. Not by war.
Sorry. Are you saying that if Zelensky comes back, Donald Trump shouldn't do a deal with him? If President Zelensky comes back and presents...
No. Irrelevant. He had his shot. He showed what a punk he is. He had his shot. And this is not about saying thank you.
Do you think President Trump agrees with you on that? Do you think he... I hope
President Trump agrees with me on that. It's the right thing to do. Right now, Zelensky, if he crawled on his belly, it doesn't make any difference. He came over the other day when they told him time and time again, do not bring up a security guarantee. A security guarantee means a more American support of the military option and American troops, and that will never happen. The American people never stand for it. And what did he do? He went and met with globalist Democrats and Republican senators at the Hay Adams Hotel beforehand. He came in, and from the entire 40 minutes, he was disrespectful. And this has nothing to do, the American people don't need thanks. We've been allies for the last 100 and some years. We've never asked the British people for thank you. We know you're an ally, okay? He didn't need to say thank you. What he needed to do was to sign the deal that, quite frankly, many people around President Trump thought was too nice to begin with. We don't need a rare earths deal. The United States doesn't need rare earths from Ukraine. That was a total gift to him and the Ukrainian people. He couldn't come across and sign the deal. 3 times he backed out of it. And he came there, and all he wanted to talk about is a security guarantee. But they told him, as a conditioned precedent to this deal, that will never be on the table. And he forced it, and they threw him out of the White House. This has never happened before in American history. A leader of a country got thrown out of the White House and told, get off the lot, because of his behavior. And I'm telling you, President Trump is a very gracious man, a very forgiving man, but there are people around President Trump, myself included, that are advocating take a very hard line and call the bluff of NATO. Call the bluff of the EU. Call the bluff of the United Kingdom and France. If you've got the money and you got the troops, let's see if you do it. I will guarantee you, every government that does that will be turfed out by their people because you're all broke.
We just have this from Reuters.
No, it's just I have it on 1.5. I have it on 1.5 speed. But yeah, I guess he's saying, I mean, this is what's happening. Europe is having to step up because the United States they're not funding Ukraine. So now Europe is posturing and trying to make up for the United States not funding them. I mean, this is a European conflict. It is.
The night during the speech when they wouldn't stand up for two of the young ladies were killed by illegal aliens, one with the cancer, the young man with the cancer, and all you want to do is stand up and applaud the man and the boy, the young boy, and nobody's ever seen anything like that. They're out of control. They've lost their minds.
It actually is really bad, and I'm guessing Democrats probably said, yeah, that's because this is the thing. They hate Trump so much, they were probably like, well, we're going to be really bullheaded. We will not stand for a single thing. And so that's why they decided to sit. I mean, they stood for Ukraine, but I think that was kind of the rhetorical and ironic. But, like, not standing for this kid, like, it would have been a good act for them to at least stand for the feel-good stories and stuff like that. I think it would have made them look good. But they're just so obsessed with Trump. They're probably like, we can't stand for anything because it would be like we're endorsing Trump. And it just makes them look so bad. So bad. Bannon has a podcast. You've only seen a few clips, but apparently it's popular. It's like everyone has a podcast now, man. Podcast. You got to go on the podcasts. All everyone has is podcasts. Bannon has charisma for a homeless-looking alcoholic. He does have an odd presentation, but yeah, I mean, so he doesn't want Trump to do any deal with Ukraine, and I guess he wants Europe to go fund them. But I mean, what would the deal with I mean, I guess there'd be no U.S. involvement in Ukraine then for the foreseeable future. I mean, that could be a problem in terms of a reinvasion, though. I don't think he really cares, though. When will you officially start your midterms polling predictions? The real ones, not the long-term ones. What do you mean? Midterms? I don't know. Probably. Maybe whenever. The problem is the midterms are not as big as the general election. Maybe in a few months. Maybe once a lot of the primaries are over, so we get some of the Senate races. Asmongold did a video on the amount of libs vandalizing Teslas and Tesla plants. The fact they're targeting Musk, it's concerning how much the left has resorted to violence. Yeah. They just hate Musk and Trump to the 10th degree. So, it is what it is, man. You got Skibbity Ohio Riz. That's beautiful brain rot. I was looking for an Ohio meme coin. There's really not a good one. I'm surprised. Ohio's a great meme. A great meme. Will you vote for Vivek for Ohio governor? I don't know. I want to see who the other choices end up being with Vivek right now. The other primary choices. There's some rumors of some people running. We'll have to see. Yeah, that's called that's when you're talking about the chili, the skyline chili. I've never had that. That's a Southern Ohio thing. I'm not in the South. I'm not in Southern Ohio. Skyline chili. Chili and noodles. Yeah, it's a big thing down there. The amount of lying, gaslighting the Democrats did over January 6th was crazy. Even heard the bogus army. Our capital has a long history of violent protests. Well, also, the other thing is, this has all come out, later. Trump ordered the National Guard, and if the National Guard was actually there, like Trump ordered 3 days before, on January 3rd, he ordered it, or whenever it was, I think it was January 3rd, there would be no problem. He ordered the National Guard. There would be nobody breaking in. And then Nancy Pelosi admits, yeah, we didn't have the proper security. It's almost like they wanted to break and they wanted to use it as political leverage. I mean, that's what got Trump banned off everything. But I mean, they wanted it as bad as possible. The Democrats wanted that event to be horrible, and it ended up being really, they overreacted and overrated the event anyways. But they wanted it to be terrible. Trump had the proper security in place. He ordered it. He did not order a Trump spoke before. He spoke at 10:30 to 11 or whenever it was. He spoke like an hour before the break-in happened. He told them to be peaceful. Why would Trump, if Trump wanted them to break into the Capitol, why would they be peaceful? It's all bullshit. And then they try and manipulate the definition of the word insurrection to say, oh, it's an insurrection. Well, yeah, the public views insurrection as differently than the actual Merriam-Webster definition. That's a thing that happens a lot, to where we interpret things differently. When people think of an insurrection, they think of something crazy, like there's killing and there's guns and everything. It's obviously not what the situation was. And with the context, knowing liberals made it as bad as possible by not having the National Guard there when Trump demanded it, it just blows up their entire case on January 6th. Why would Trump demand the National Guard if he wanted a break-in? It doesn't make any sense. All this, let's not have religion to be involved in politics, has led us to degeneracy. Yeah, religion, Christianity is a pillar to a society. It's you have to have something you abide by and something you're scared of if you sin and things like that. So religion is very important for a society. I mean, you could maybe make an argument in certain cases if people are civilized enough and they have good enough hearts, but you need to have some type of pillar to judge yourself against. Have you ever been to the Football Hall of Fame? Yeah, like when I was like 12 or 13. When I was younger. Trump is talking about Greenland. Is that serious? I'm not being trolled again, man. Come on. Remember when they tried making January 5th, January 6th as bad as 9/11? Yeah, they said it was worse. No, they actually did say it was worse because they said this has more of an effect. They said, they said 9/11 was a terrible event, but it didn't involve a potential takeover of the U.S. Capitol. So technically, in political terms, they said January 6th was worse than 9/11. No, they actually tried making that point. You were in the front row for the January 6th speech. Yeah, and it is crazy how this speech, Trump says be peaceful, and I think he said be peaceful and patriotic. Trump will offer Greenland citizens checks. Yeah, that's going to have to happen because you need, unless you want to just take it over, you're going to have to do it diplomatically. Do you know if the Trump eclipse speech occurred before or after the Capitol? It was before. It was before, but as the speech was going on, there was mobs marching to the Capitol as the speech was happening. What's your take on your parents about January 6th? Do they agree with me? I don't, I mean, I don't really talk to them about January 6th, man. I don't know what to tell you. Just started the gym last week. Feels good. You started going to the gym. Yeah, I mean, I used to go to the gym when I was younger. When you get old enough, it's no. You get too old, it's not something. But yeah, I mean, the gym is good for mental and stuff. I mean, I went for like a year straight at one point. $50K checks for each Greenlander. It can happen. Absolutely. See, the problem is they're going to start criticizing and be like, oh, it's a waste of money. No, but the money we save with the Doge and everything like that, it's going to be invested in things like Greenland. And we need to really invest into Greenland's infrastructure. And they're like, well, it's not America first. Well, not everything's about this. This is an expansion. It's going to pay off. You have to give it time. Rogan is falling off. No, Rogan just became a little bit more right wing, so there's gonna be people that hate him. And I mean, Rogan is #1 basically every week. They tried saying this new like Midas touch, this liberal soy pussy podcast. It's like the liberals take it for one single day, they're #1, then it's all the headlines, and then Rogan takes back #1. Rogan's been #1 for like years. When I was younger, I watched Rogan. Will the gold card ever happen? I mean, probably the gold card will happen. $5 million. Trump's trying to bring wealthy people into the country. It's not a stimulus check. It's a dividend. It's a It's a little bit different. It's a reallocation. I don't know if they're going to give the Doge dividend check. It's probably unlikely, at least in 2025. But I don't know. They know it would be amazing. I mean, dude, if Trump is able to time all of this correctly, if they did do that, I mean, think about what the stimulus checks did for crypto. And with crypto, it was perfect timing because it was right when the 4-year cycle was happening, the bull run. But I mean, this is like a 2.0. Trump, I think he realizes it, and maybe he's preparing for this for the dividend and more money to be into the economy. Imagine that. But it's just a reallocation. It's not printing more money. What do you think of the All In podcast? I never heard of that, man. Or maybe I heard of it, but I never watched it or listened to it. Can't wait for Greenland to be a territory. That would be a great situation if it became a territory. It's just such an obvious thing too, and it's such a little investment is needed. It'll pay off. It takes time. It takes time to mine the rare earths, but it's also a security thing. It's a territory. You add it as a territory. It's like Puerto Rico, but it's a lot less people to deal with there. Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC need to join the union, but the West Coast needs to leave the blue town. Well, BC is very liberal, but it doesn't really matter because, I mean, we could handle BC if we got Saskatchewan and Alberta. Can you imagine the Ukraine war ending? 5,000 checks and Epstein files all released within the same week. That's why Trump. We need to relax with this economy. We need to relax with selling. Nobody should be selling anything with this Trump economy right now. Trump is setting it up. We'll see if the interest rates get lowered, but even that would be like a longer term thing. He would need to have the economy down for it to be lowered. But I think Trump is setting it up. We get this. We get the dividend. We get the wars over. That's going to be more bullish for the market. The Epstein stuff, I mean, that's very unlikely because of the people involved. But there's going to have to be something that gets released with the Epstein stuff. I don't know if it's going to be anything big, but they said there's going to be another thing that gets released. I mean, if they disappoint again, I think Pam Bondi's going to have to be gone. We need something here. Got to get up at a 5 a.m. workout. Wow, man. 5 a.m. I used to work out at like 6 a.m. Good to work out in the morning. Why is there a lot of Andrew Tate simps on your channel? Well, it's just young people, you know, they like Andrew Tate. Yeah, I saw Kevin Durant call out Skip Bayless. He basically called him washed. He called himself and Skip Bayless washed.
It's going to be the greatest thing we've ever done as a country. It's going to make our country rich again. We have many companies, as you know, auto companies are opening up plants now. We've had 4 or 5 announced already, but many more are coming. And we're basically going to take back the money, a lot of the money that we've given away over many decades. We've lost our jobs, we've lost our factories. We've lost 90,000 factories since the beginning of NAFTA. It's not that long ago. 90,000 factories, think of that. And we're going to get them back, and they're coming back, and they're coming back in records. Look at what happened with the big chip company, the biggest in the world, by far the most powerful chip company in the world, from Taiwan, and they're going in.
That's a huge win.
With $200 billion of money, and they're going to build something that's going to give us 35–40% of the chip market in one company. No, it's going to bring it back, and I think it's going to make us bring us to a level that we've never had.
Yeah, that win with the Taiwan semiconductor chips. I mean, that's what Biden tried doing with the CHIPS Act, and they couldn't do it because nobody wanted to invest into America to build semiconductor chips because they cost more. So you have to threaten Taiwan with tariffs, and then they make an investment into the United States, and there's a deal done. So the chips are very good. I mean, there's a lot of investment happening. He's saying it looks like he's going forward. It's just hard with the tariffs. I mean, if he's actually saying the tariffs need to go forward, I don't know why he keeps suspending the tariffs or delaying them. Yeah, this could be the golden age, honestly. If you get this dividend, if you get this domestic investment into the United States with these jobs, you have to force the issue, and so you get a little short-term loss. You get a short-term economic turmoil. Look at what happened in Trump's first term. There was economic turnover with the turmoil with the Chinese tariffs as well. This is typical. This is not me spinning it. This is just what's happening. It takes time, and so when you have tariffs, there's going to be a little bit of a choppiness in the market. Trump knows that. That's why he said he's not looking at the stock market right now, because it's a longer-term thing, and it drives domestic investment. Why don't liberals comment when they were basically saying Biden was a god for the CHIPS Act? It led to no investment. They got like $1 billion total investment during that when he was president. Where is the respect, and where is the talking points on Trump's semiconductor deal with Taiwan? And he's saying it's $200 billion. I read it was $130 billion, but whatever it is, I mean, it's a lot of money invested in the United States, and there's no more reliance on Taiwan for semiconductor chips, which is a problem if you rely on Taiwan with the Chinese sphere of influence encircling Taiwan. So it could be harder to do trade with Taiwan if China continues to up their influence within Taiwan. You're gonna need more than 5K. Yeah, well, for me, honestly, it is just a tax. It's just if they did do it for me, I wouldn't even get like they would just take out on my taxes because I owe so much in taxes because of the way YouTube does their payouts. They don't take away taxes, so it's not like, oh, I'm gonna owe $100 or $500 or I owe a bunch of money. I mean, I should have done it quarterly, but I think for some other people, it's gonna be just a relief on taxes. I mean, that's what it's kind of pitched as. U.S. companies have had warnings of Trump's tariffs way before January 20th, the whole campaign trail, multi-years. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there are situations like you see what Rand Paul said. He said that it was going to the tariffs, especially the automotive industry, because apparently to get certain parts in the automotive industry, they have to you have to go to Canada and to Mexico, so you're getting hit with a double whammy, 2 tariffs. So, I mean, there are certain things that it's and you want the the automotive industry back in the United States produced domestically, and that's how you do it. But it's going to have an effect, and the liberal talking point is going to rise prices short term. If you can spend $5 just to say that you don't need more than 5K, it was a funny comment. Yeah. Look up Kai Cenat. He's on the Diddy list. Kai Cenat is. Yeah, there's some bad things about that list. We'll see if it comes out. It's that streaming culture, man. That streaming culture. Favorite history subject, World War II. Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, possibly. I mean, this is, yeah, these guys. This is the conservative Paul Vier's response, talking about Trudeau's replacement, Mark Carney. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty generic response. I mean, they're going to try and spin it as Carney is more moderate. Yeah, I might do a World War II iceberg after the 9/11 iceberg. But I mean, it's a lot harder to do that. Well, it's not harder. It's just there's so much shit involved with World War II. So much involved with World War II. You invite me to invest into your coin. You need more liquidity. Well, I mean, I'm probably not going to be investing into it, whatever your coin is, because I don't really have the free capital to do it, man. Yeah, he's doing the whole Canada first thing. It's like the America first, Canada first. Canada's still going to elect a conservative, probably like a 66% chance. All these streamers fans are mostly kids. Yeah, well, most streamers are like, especially if the streamer is younger, their fan base is very young. It's just, look at Mr. Beast. His fan base is very extremely young. Depends what content you have, but yeah, streamers normally their fan bases are very young. What do you think about the Musk-Rubio feud? I mean, people are going to disagree. Maybe there's a power struggle there. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. It's kind of irrelevant right now. It might creep up again. People are saying it's fake. I mean, maybe it is fake. I don't know. But it wouldn't really surprise me. Rubio being a little angry with Musk. I just wonder what it's about. I mean, what are those two arguing about? The guy is just as bad as Trudeau. Of course he is. These are the liberals in Canada. It's all the same. What's wrong with Canada First? I mean, nothing's wrong with it. It's just, you know, it just comes off as copying. But I mean, it's a viable strategy. But there's different like levels to like being Canada First or America First or whatever your country is. Yeah, you should always put your country first. I agree. We do need more nationalism. Grade Trump's performance so far. I mean, it's incomplete, obviously. I would say Trump would get like a B from me. But it's not, you know, it's basically everything that Trump is going to be remembered for this term has not happened yet in terms of the economy situation, whatever happens with all the declassified stuff. The deportations obviously do need to increase, and he knows that. And then the wars. $2028 prediction this month. There's no point in doing 2028 predictions right now, honestly. And plus, it doesn't make sense because I'm going to be busy with I'll do political videos, obviously, but also March Madness this month, anyways. So it'll be a combination of those two. Trump 2018, 2019 was the best of any presidency. Well, in recent, since, you know, for us, yeah. The 2019 economy was very, very good. You always think it's frozen? Yeah, that's why people think I should add music. I don't know, man. You guys want music in the background? People always say no, though. Some people will say, yeah, you need to add some in the comments, and I see it. I don't know. It's kind of corny if you add music. I mean, I guess if it's like good background music, but constant music. Do at least one crypto video a week. I mean, I guess I could. They don't get good views, so it's not, there's not really a high incentive for me to do them. Yeah, people are saying no music. People don't like music. Wow. They don't like music with live streams. No music. $2 Canadian, bro. That's worth like 30 cents. I'm just kidding. The Canadian dollar, though, has gotten crushed. Maybe more videos to react to, though. Yeah, I know. I mean, dude, like, when my live streams do well, it's mainly because there's, like, something that just happened, basically. Or I'm just, reacting to Trump's State of the Union or joint address or some shit like that. Or if it's, like, right before the election. Like, that's when the videos do well. Like when the Zelensky thing happened, my live streams are going to get more views. But if there's no real big news, it's just not going to, you know. Well, of course there'd be no singing. It's just background music. I'm not going to put songs on. I'm not going to put songs on. You glad Israel hasn't offered me money? Well, I mean, that's for more important people than me. I got a bunch of money last stream. We made a joke about APEC. Do you think Trump will get impeached again? Well, we'll have to see what happens with the midterms. They have no power to impeach Trump. They don't have control of Congress. We'll see if they get control in the House. They would need that to even do anything. Yeah, people really don't like the music. Midterms, Dems will get crushed. Your prediction? Well, I mean, Republicans are going to have a big, solid majority in the Senate, the House. We'll have to see with the House. We'll see if the economy starts. To me, the midterms, it's all about the economy. It's all about the wars. That's what it is. I mean, and by when the midterms are, I mean, you still got like 16, 18 months, whenever it is. It's there's a lot of time to turn the economy and put it in a really good direction, which I think will end up happening. Have you heard of any glimmers of hope with the Dems, like a direction they could go with a certain person that wouldn't be insane leftism? Yeah, it'd be like Jon Stewart or someone like that. Basically, what they need to do is really just push the middle class narrative, I think. And they need to stop the whole shit where it's like, because they're just alienating a bunch of white people is what they're doing. And like that's who wins you elections. It's middle class white people. That's who is in the Rust Belt. So they need to mainly focus on like middle class white people, I think. And so a lot of this shit with like DEI and all that shit, they got to stop defending all that. It's just a terrible just not a good strategy for elections. Since you made a lot of money in your last stream, can you do a video critical of Israel? Well, I'm doing a 9/11 video that there's some obviously some Israel content with that. What's your highest donation? I think my highest donation was $500 on election night. The election night, I couldn't really keep track of it. It was just because the chat was just insane. If the economy starts to rise up in the spring, summer, it will be really good for crypto in the fall, winter. Yeah, but it's going to have to happen quickly based on the 4-year cycle. I mean, we really need we need a good economic situation within the next 4 or 5 months. I mean, technically, alt season is supposed to happen in like before 2026, but right in between or right around Thanksgiving. You think the Newsom podcast could be compelling? Wonder who is on the next episode. He keeps getting confrontational stuff. Credit where credit is due. It could be good. Yeah, but you have to understand, Newsom kind of gave himself a bitch way out. If you actually watched that, he immediately praised Kirk. There was not really a like he wanted to form agreement. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's good to see a liberal and a conservative come together, but the context of it was kind of like, I don't know. It really wasn't. He kind of buttered up Kirk to try and make him less confrontational with Newsom. How do you reconcile Trump's push for peace in Ukraine with his hawkishness towards Iran? Well, it's the Israel factor. Trump is a major Zionist, and so when it comes to Iran, I think there's a big Israel factor involved with him being aggressive against Iran. Obviously, that would be indirectly good for Israel. But I mean, also, you have to understand Trump is a negotiator. He likes to gain leverage during these things. So a lot of this could just be threats. That's what I hope it is with Iran. But I mean, like, he has to understand. This has to get to him. Nobody within the MAGA base wants any type of escalation in the Middle East. Like, he has to know that. So I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, maybe it's just a negotiation tactic. You don't stand with people's support for Hamas? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really support Palestine at all. Looks like Iran doesn't want Trump's offer. Look out for something there. But let's also understand Trump threatened Hamas twice with the hostages and said, or else, and nothing happened to them. He didn't do anything. I mean, maybe he'll end up doing something. I don't know. But it seems like there's a lot of threats. There's not a lot of action. Alex Jones says he's open to talking with Newsom and would go on his podcast. Yeah, I don't think Newsom would do that. Alex would be the star for sure, going on there talking to him. That would be awesome. I don't think Newsom would want to do that. I mean, Newsom, like, if you think, like, who are the Charlie Kirk types that Newsom is going to have on? Ben Shapiro will definitely, I guarantee you Ben Shapiro will be on Newsom's podcast. Michael Knowles. That's the type of that's the type he's trying to get on, I think. Newsom. Is it dumb to think that Dems only voted for Harris because they have TDS and not because half the country really wants trans men in women's sports? No, they're just Democrats. They're going to vote. This is how it is in the United States. They're going to vote for the Democratic candidate. It's that simple. Obviously, with Harris, there's a very small percentage of critical people you need to win over. She didn't do it. Democrats are going to vote for the Democrat no matter who it is. It's just how it is right now in the country. And especially with Trump, I mean, they just, it's not like they view Trump as this kind of more independent or center-right person. I mean, they think he's like a fascist Hitler 2.0, so they were never going to vote for him. Crowder, yeah, Crowder could be another one. Crowder could be another one he would have on. Your election iceberg was well done, but at that point there was some election fatigue. Everyone's life in America has become politics. Yeah, it's intertwined with culture because of Trump mainly. I mean, look at all these, dude. Just look at comedians. It's all politics with comedians. They're analyzing politics. Comedians are in their podcasts. It's all politics. Schultz, obviously Rogan's a little bit different because I would say he's really more so obviously more of a podcaster than a comedian. But like Tim Dillon, all of their content is politics, or not all of it, but it's like it's crazy when you look. Theo Vaughn, they're all just getting into politics. Hey, what's your take on regulations for AI? It depends how good AI gets. I would imagine there's going to have to do something about AI. AI is going to be indistinguishable from real video, so there has to be something done about it, you would think. But I mean, they're trying to do something to DeepSeek. I know that the Chinese company. I just saw another headline. They were possibly going to restrict their access in the United States. Just rewatched Prometheus, Covenant, and Romulus because you mentioned it. Definitely underrated. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Romulus is very good, honestly, though, man. But I love Prometheus and Covenant because of Michael Fassbender and the engineers. It's just a crazy story. I mean, it's kind of like corny, like, oh, they sent God back to Earth, and then we killed him, so now they're destroying our planet. I mean, when they tried to maneuver that into it, it was kind of like, I know they're trying to bring the whole Christianity narrative to it, but I mean, the idea of the engineers it's pretty insane. It's just like a cool storyline. The fact that we didn't get a third one. The third one's supposed to be Alien Awakening. Apparently, they're supposed to do it in like, with Ridley Scott in like 2026 or 2027, which would be a sequel to Covenant. But I mean, people hated Covenant. I mean, there were some problems. People just take these movies like, oh, there's no way they should have done that. They shouldn't have done that. Like taking off their helmets on the planet. I mean, yeah, it's stupid, but I mean, like I would yearn for a movie like that if it came out tomorrow, like another Alien type movie with Ridley Scott directing it. I mean, I would go to the theaters to see that. That would be amazing. What are the movies? There's just no movies. Is there no money in movies now? There's no movies. I mean, I might have to go look up the trailers or something, but the movies have gotten so bad. There was like a period in like 2013, 2014. I mean, Prometheus was 2012, Interstellar was 2014, The Martian was like 2015. I mean, there's nothing like that, even close to anything nowadays. Dune was good. I never saw Dune. Has Trump pumped building nuke plants into the United States? Yeah, it's like more of a conservative talking point. I haven't heard him talk about nuclear energy at all, though, since he got elected. The switch to nuclear needs to really be a multi-administration approach, whether it's Democrat or Republican, and really it should be a bipartisan agreement on nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is kind of like the bridge in between renewable and non-renewable. Hollywood had the worst box office in 2020. Well, now they're just releasing movies on stream. The movies are they're just streaming them now. DC is too left-leaning. It's the city. Well, yeah, DC is insanely liberal. They've been dealing with bad crime in DC as well. I was looking at their subreddit, and they were like, you can't keep showing these crime videos. This is racist. Like, they're dealing with bad crime, and they're trying to, like, cope about it. Interstellar is in your theater for a week. I know, but it's like, shouldn't they be creating new movies rather than us just rewatching Interstellar in the theater? Like, that just goes to show you where the movies are at. I'm surprised they never tried to do a spin-off off of Interstellar. I mean, there probably was a lot of money to be made off of that. I mean, you couldn't do an Interstellar 2, but you should stream a movie at some point. Yeah, I don't think I'd be allowed to do that, honestly. How much is Twitter worth now? Musk paid $44 billion. Well, Musk has scaled down the cost of operating Twitter. That's the point. They say, well, now Twitter's worth a lot less. Yeah, well, it also costs a lot less to even operate Twitter because he fired like 90% of the people. But they also, this is the other thing. There was a boycott against Musk when he took over, so obviously Twitter is going to go down in value. Musk bought it more so as it's not for the money. To have a platform like this is very powerful. Musk knows that. And then they try and say, well, he's a terrible businessman. He bought Twitter and now it's worth nothing. Well, no, they had a boycott against him. All the advertisers did when he bought it because they hate him. So there was no advertisers on the platform. But he at least he's allowing people to make money off of it. There are some drawbacks to it. You get all these dumbass accounts. It's like they try and kiss up to him. I mean, for him that's good because it's like these reply people. Thoughts on a full war with the cartel? Well, I don't know what a full war means, but they are going to do military operations in Mexico and hopefully have the Mexican government as support, although who knows how compromised the Mexican government is by the cartels. Yeah, I've seen that movie. Apollo 18. That's a funny movie, man. There's still great movies. My Son Hunter and Fatherland. The Fatherland was like best picture, man. My Son Hunter. You're a Biden. Act like it. All right, guys, I'm going to stop the live stream now. I will, I mean, hopefully we're going to get some big news tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be stuff that comes out. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this stream. Do you drink? No, I don't. All right, guys, go ahead, follow me on X. I'll be seeing you. Yeah, minerals deal. We need the minerals deal. Minerals deal is coming.